Good afternoon, BridgeNation. No borders. Jamaicans all over the world. Welcome to the Bridge 99. It's 3 minutes after high noon. Today is Wednesday, December the 7th, and this is a different kind of program on the Bridge. We talk serious business, we talk it simply, and we talk it pointedly. No holds barred, no prisoners taken, goodwill, and progress is our aim. That's the public eye. Public eye with the open mind. I welcome our co-host, the Honorable Pearnel Charles Sr. Looking well, sir?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we welcome all of our listeners on 99.13579 on the FM dial. And later on, we'll be connecting with Erwin Clare on our sister station, Irie Jam Radio in New York for the Global Connection Hour. Remember, you can also watch our live stream at www.thebridge99fm.com. Give you that again, The Bridge, www.thebridge99fm.com, wherever you are. Instagram, it's at thebridge99fm, and the YouTube channel is Bridge99FM. Happy to have you. The numbers are easy to remember, 876-551-5782 and 876-676-4996. Later on in the program today, we have some guests. The first one is an interesting man's name. He's Aljamain Sterling, and he has an important message about youth engagement in sporting activities leading to a reduction in crime and violence. We look forward to that. And then afterwards, during the Global Connection, Rod Knox, principal of Rod Knox Architects in New York, and he's accompanied by Mr. David Adler, who is a registered architect in New York. We'll be discussing what they call the Jamboo Grant Proposal. Jamboo referring to Jamaica and also to Bambo, yes? So they feel that community housing the needs can be met through this particular technology. We're anxious to hear. Anxious to hear from you too. It's always a pleasure to be on the Bridge 99 FM. So, Mr. Charles, you went to a place that you were familiar with, Caribbean Maritime University, recently.
Yes, I went there yesterday, and to the surprise of the president and the Minister of Education, and also the president of the Port Authority. I broke ground at the present location on the 2nd of February 1982 as Minister of Public Utilities and Transport. The CMU was not CMU then. It was Maritime Training Institute.
Yeah.
It was established somewhere in Kingston under the previous government and previous Minister of Horace Clarke,
of blessed memory,
who was a friend and a schoolmate of mine.
Really?
Yeah, when I was president of West Indian Student Association, he was the unchallengeable treasurer
indeed.
For 4 years. Nobody wanted him to move. Nobody challenged him.
Yeah.
So I was there yesterday, and I took with me the picker, some people call it pickaxe, that I used to break ground
in 1982.
And the 2nd of February 1982.
So
brand new, clean and shine.
Yeah.
It was held in my study
for 40 years.
40 years.
No, of course.
And I had to give my wife some credit to clean all the dust.
Well, you're lucky it wasn't disposed of.
Somebody say you're lucky there was no need to use it.
Well, indeed. So you took the pickaxe out there.
Yes, and I said to the president, Mr. President, this was what we used to break ground for the establishment of CMU. Now I'm giving you, as a new president, for you to break ground in education, additional to what has been done. Because this university has done what no other university in Jamaica was capable of doing. Every person who was trained there got a job on or before graduation.
Yes, I once went to a graduation ceremony out there.
Yes.
And of the total complement of graduates.
Yes.
Perhaps only 40% were present.
Yes.
And my immediate reaction was that
where are they?
They were boycotting it.
Yeah.
But they weren't boycotting it. They'd gone to work.
They're gone to work.
Yes. Overseas.
Not in Jamaica.
No, many of them.
Because of the support we got from, if you look at the documents.
Yes. Overseas agencies.
Yeah. No,
and the major shipping
it was
lands.
established with.
It's Norwegian, wasn't it?
Norwegian.
Yes. Help.
We were preparing
Yeah.
ship workers.
Yes.
From captain.
Yes.
To
the lowest levels, most media levels,
right? And so they had choice of
which is a good template. It's a lovely piece of history you've participated in, but it's a good template for what education must go, where it must go.
Right.
That it must be it doesn't lack in its humanistic orientation, but it must also have a skill attached. I wonder if you would agree with me. This is something that I couldn't achieve when I served in government. My view was that no person should be graduated from a high school without having some certification in the English language, in mathematics, in information technology, and in some employable skill.
Well,
some employable skill. And that's what CMU offers in many different iterations.
Yes. They took me into the place yesterday where the Minister of Education piloted a ship.
Yes. Yes, I've done that too.
You've done that?
Yes, right. The virtual piloting.
Yes.
I sailed the United States into New York Harbor.
You did?
I crashed it a few times,
The important thing about all of this, and get back to the point you make, is that we are graduating too many of our children who all the skill they have is the certificate.
Yeah. Well, this is it. And
they have an attitude. Wrong profession, wrong attitude, wrong guidance, wrong training.
So why do we do it?
Well, Ronnie, you and I have been talking about it. You were Minister of Education, so let me ask you. But before I ask you, I don't want to embarrass you. I tell you what happened. The Minister of Labour and Social Security was Pearnel Charles.
Yeah. Oh.
The Minister of Education was Aljamain. I said to him, you are Minister of Education. I am Minister of Labour. And we are not working together. The Minister of Labour and the Minister of Education, they should be sitting down to know what is needed in the labour field.
Sure.
What are you training people for?
Sure.
Even those who are going away.
Yes. Even those, indeed, that is our history. Now, I'm agreeing with you. I found a resistance on the part of people teachers, some, not all, some, and also within the bureaucracy of the ministry. And it was related to an old prejudice, which people don't want to admit still lurks in our psyche, that doing practical things, doing menial things is somehow demeaning. It's not for those, if you're picking a bright, you don't make them do that. When in fact, it is those skills, along with the academic orientation, the sensitivity, the humane studies, that is going to create a wholesome person. I'm one of the best educated people in Jamaica. I thank God for that. But I have a deficiency. I was never taught to do anything practical. It wasn't in the line that I was supposed to be in, because they thought you're bright, and therefore it's only book you deal with.
Well,
what a mistake, Pearnel.
Well, the mistake that was made for you, it was not made for me. Not because my parents were better than yours, but I wasn't bright enough. So I was told, listen, this is how you make smarter. This is how you lay blocks.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Very important.
This is how you take off a door and hinge it.
Yeah.
This is how you run wire and use the hammer to stretch the wire to the post and nail it.
Yes, sir.
In other words, we went through all of that. Some of it in school.
And some of it at home.
And some of it at home.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the other pretty guys, bright guys, were sent off to school and
where you say that,
vacation.
But your story is reinforcing the position that we're saying. No, we've moved a distance away from that. But unfortunately, we haven't moved enough. which is a problem you and I have been discussing.
But let's go back to CMU.
Yeah.
Because out there, they know how many captains they need.
Yeah.
They know how many. Well,
first, how many navigators?
And those are who they're training.
Yes, sir.
Because on the wall they need 90,
yeah.
and they can only produce 60.
Yeah.
There's still, you follow me?
There's space.
We have space now. Some of the children who are graduating are not even good to be.
Yes. Well, they can't read and write.
They can't read and write.
But then I have to ask the question.
And 1 minute before you ask the question, if they had what we are talking about.
Yeah.
You can't read and write to the standard that we are talking about.
Yes, yes.
But you are no mechanic.
Yes.
Because you know that this is the tool, this is this. In other words, many of the practical education that should be passed on to them, they are avoiding that, and they want to become lawyers and doctors.
But exactly, and for this reason, we have to. My question is, why do we continue to do something that we know is not helping us, and which is avoiding the central problem, which is to add quality to our educational system, so that people can, in fact, sequence into jobs. And I'm going to go further. We are wasting money in doing things that are not really going to help us, and Jamaica has to stop doing that, because when we turn out those children, or those children turn out themselves, because we do it by age, not by competence, that's another mistake. Yes, they end up in antisocial frame of mind and antisocial behavior, and then look what happens. We get so desperate, yes, that you have intelligent people like Mr. Pandoi talking about returning to the death penalty. And worse upon worse, you have somebody like our Prime Minister talking about altering the Constitution, almost word for word following what Mr. Trump said. Old Pearnel, this week has been a bad week. Mr. Trump is saying that the Constitution isn't suited for the exigencies of the time, and therefore they'll have to change it. Now, Mr. Holness is saying that the security forces must have greater access to be able to take on emergency measures because of the circumstances.
But
that's awful.
Let's separate that from what Trump said.
Oh.
Because I am saying...
Who want to change the Constitution?
No. I am saying that the security forces...
Yeah.
has to have something to match what is out there now.
No, I beg your pardon, sir. Of course they must, and they do. But hello, sir. What you can never do is to put in the hands of the security forces the arbitration of liberty. You can never do that. That is a definition of a police state, and that is the way we are heading.
Let's examine that, Ronnie.
Please.
Let's examine the point you make. Because you are now defending those who the security force will go after.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. That is what Mr. Holness goes on to say.
Well, let me say it
and you don't barely believe that, because you know that isn't so. I'm not defending criminals.
I am not saying you're defending criminals.
Well, that's what they're saying.
No. What I am saying is that the people who the criminals are destroying.
Yes, sir.
They are the one who push people like Mr. Holness to say they should not be permitted to continue to destroy those people.
But
in other words,
nobody's in favor of that. If you want to stop people destroying others in the way that is terrible, unforgivable, and cannot be tolerated in Jamaica, you have to do, sir, what we were talking about earlier. You have to have more institutions like Caribbean Maritime Institute.
You know, I was talking about you last night.
You were?
And I want to tell you what I said about you, which was bad. I said, Ronnie, what you have just said is that the people who are giving us problem now.
Yes, sir.
We should train them.
No,
hold on, Ronnie.
Because
what you're saying that they have passed that period of training.
No, sir. Some of those people have to be incarcerated if they are convicted of crime. Yes, not the 3,000 people who were detained in the last batch of state of emergencies and only 5% charged. What happened to the 95? What about their rights? They must suffer in order for those. And those 5%, when we were told that all the gang leaders were now in jail and break up, it's not so, you know. Obviously, it's not so. The method we're doing, Yes. What I'm suggesting does not preclude punishment, does not preclude harsh punishment where it is required. Yes. But what you're doing is this net fishing. That is what the security forces want, and it's because of their own inefficiency. They can't. The Prime Minister says that he's gone to America now to talk about getting U.S. help. Good, but sir, where are the big fish? You think little boys in Central Kingston or North Clarendon can buy an AK-47?
No, but somebody's buying it and give it to them to go and kill me and you.
Yes, sir. So when have we arrested one of those?
Eh?
When have we arrested one of those? When you have state of emergency, I'm looking to see this new state of emergency, to see how much of those they find.
Let's answer the question first.
Yeah.
Why don't we arrest one of them,
yes, sir,
who are contaminating 100 of ours?
Why don't we? Answer it.
Well,
you know why?
You can't catch them.
So what we do? Catch everybody else?
Well, you have to catch those who they are contaminating.
I don't say no.
Because they are the one carrying out the operation.
But don't think that is going to solve the problem.
Well, I know until you catch the big one.
But hold on, sir. Hold on now. How many years have we been trying? And the only one we catch is Dudus. And look at the fight we had about that one.
But hold on a minute. Hold on. This is what is bothering me now. I'm going after the police. The police say that there are 640 gangs in Jamaica. Now, if you know that there are 640 gangs, you must know that there are 640 leaders. Am I correct?
You should.
And another 640 deputy leaders.
So where are they?
So that's what I want to find out.
Is it one gang trial we have going?
Yeah, but they want to go after those. But you and others are saying,
no.
How do you go after a gang leader who have not? You can't say him kill anybody. How do you go after him? What do you do to him?
No, hold on, no.
Is there a charge for being a gang leader?
No.
No, hold on.
Actually, there is.
No,
actually, there is.
No, I want to say that I am Prime Minister.
Yeah.
No, I am Minister of National Security. Yeah. And you tell me I know that there are 450 gangs in Jamaica. And I can't say, Ronnie Thwaites is an attorney who say if I say to be a member of a criminal gang is commit yourself to prison.
Well, first of all,
you ask me how do I define a criminal gang?
No. I'm not saying that people in criminal gangs are to be cosseted. As to what constitutes membership in a criminal gang, that's very important.
That is all running.
Okay.
That covers 90% of the
no one is suggesting that the passage and the pursuit of the ordinary law and its penalties, that there's anything wrong with that. What we are saying, what I am saying, you should be saying it too, because you suffered it.
Yeah.
That this net fishing thing, where if you don't like somebody, yes, you have the right to carry them in.
But that is not law. That is criminal.
And that's what in the situation now. If you or I walk out, and a policeman happens to think that you or I are connected in any way with any criminal things, even if he doesn't think that, he can deprive me and you of our liberty without further explanation. That is the truth.
Ronnie, hold on a minute.
No.
We're making,
I'm not holding on.
I think we're doing too much on that point.
No, that is the key
point.
No
policeman could come and tell me, you name Pearnel, Charles?
Come with me.
I'm taking you in.
Yes, you could.
Why? You know why they said that to me? Why they said? They took me up to the place and they come to me the morning. They came to me the morning, two detectives with a book.
You told us.
To interview me. And they told me plain. They said, we are here to let you out.
Yeah, fool you up.
But we need a statement from you.
Fool you up.
And what the statement is, I must show them and tell them I'm prepared to sign that I see Siaga distribution going.
So
I said to them,
what do you think is changed now?
What's that, Bertrand? How could I say
this is why I want
you. You know what the man said to me?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Charles, we'll see you another time.
That's not
One year after.
1 year after. So you having had that experience, yes, you should never be in favor of what is happening now.
Ronnie, it's not all of them is like me.
How you mean?
No.
All of them could be like you.
They could be, but it's not all like me.
No. But hold on, sir.
Now, if the police...
What is to prevent that. Now, all I'm saying is that there will be many instances. Let's go after the big criminals. Let's go after those who follow them and actually carry out the thing. Yes? But that is not you. But the powers cover you. And you are being asked, yes, the silly person who is in charge of some part of government, new ministry, and the Prime Minister, and are saying, you have to be exposed to that, Pearnel Charles, in order to get those people? No. What they're saying is that they don't have the capacity. Their investigative apparatus is weak, and therefore all of us have to be at jeopardy. When you do that, you have a police state. You have rights that are no greater than yours were when you were in Red Fence.
What's the opposite, Ronnie?
The opposite of that? Yeah. The opposite of that?
So let me tell you what I want the opposite of. A man drive up, 6 men, 4 men playing domino, 6 men stand up. They want one, they kill all 10.
Yeah.
They just set the gun and then race and do that.
Fine. So there are a number of things. Catch those men.
Catch which men?
And the ones who came and did that. What else?
The one who did the shooting.
Anyone. If the one who do the shooting, the others. Why did I say anyone? Yeah. Because the others are complicit. If I go with you or you come with me and I shoot, you are complicit unless you do something about it. Yeah. So we're not short of law, Mr. Charles.
No, but let's use your
What
formula.
we are short about is investigation and integrity.
Let's use your situation. So those men drive up in a car. One use the M16, set it on him waist, and turn it and kill 6. All of them drive off. You don't know where they're gone. They're in a community.
Yes, sir.
You hear that them in there. How you going to find them?
Curfew, the place.
Curfew. Okay. So your curfew, in curfew, you have to pick up to find out who is who when you're exposed to, what do you call it, where they put for you to come on an identification parade.
So you're going to have to do that in any event.
Okay, but then, Ronnie, where I agree with you previously is that we should have a committee that if you have to pick up some men who you are not sure all of them, they can go before.
No, respectfully, sir, we don't need a committee, we need a court. And we have the court. And that is what, although I don't agree with many elements of it, that is what Mark Golding is suggesting.
Yeah,
that is what the government said that they put forward in 2019. I don't care who puts it forward. Yes? Yeah. Like the Prime Minister, he says, if whoever wants credit for it, take it. If we have to do that, for short periods, yes, and you bring the person before a court, yes, that is it. But let me say,
we can't stop the discussion.
No, we can't, because there's a.
I agree with you on that.
Fine. There's an anterior principle.
Yes.
Yes. Anterior principle is that you cannot deprive a person of liberty and then build a case against them. You are supposed to build a case against them.
Explain that to me, because that's a high piece of law there.
No. You can't take a person in, as they did with you, yes, and then build a case against you by coming for that statement that you were supposed to give.
Yes.
That's not it. They're supposed to have the information that you said it or you wrote it before they take you in. In other words, my liberty is not constrained by your need to build a case against Pearnel Charles or Ronald Thwaites or whoever. Yes, that is wrong. There's no law when that is the case.
Especially so everybody that they take in, they should have...
They must have reasonable suspicion.
Hold on now. But you just use the word.
No.
What is reasonable suspicion?
I got you. Let me tell you what it is in Jamaica. 3,000 people taken in the last state of emergency, and 5% eventually are charged. That is why the rest of them were taken in. Reasonable suspicion of what? You don't understand that, sir? We're breaking down.
Of the information they had.
Information. What do they do with it?
They had information that in this district you have
so
6 bad men.
You just grab everybody and say, all right, no, we're going to find out which is the 6. That is how. That is your view of law, Mr. Charles? No, sir.
No, but I'm going to agree with you that is wrong.
Of course it's wrong.
I'm going to agree that is not the proper way.
But that is what is happening right now, sir. Right now, I can tell you, that is what an unbridled and unfettered state of emergency.
A policeman just called to say it's not so.
Yes, sir.
The police just say that they only take action based on information given to them.
That is, excuse me, bulls. Absolute bulls.
They say you're not telling the truth.
They had information on the 2,900 people that they took in. yes, in all through St. James, that whole area, mash up their lives, demean the very confidence that they have in themselves and in the security forces. You cannot do that.
Ronnie, I cannot agree with that either, because that is similar to what happened to 300 or 400 of us, and they let us out 1-1 when they can't get what they want.
So who was in charge of your liberty? Who was in charge of it? It was a political government and policemen who were prepared to do the will of the political authority at the time. Now, it pains me to say this, but that is what we are heading towards now. And you should never concede that, because you are the victim of it.
No, but I am not going to concede that.
Okay.
But if a police come to me, like they are doing now to the Prime Minister and the team, Mr. Prime Minister, you are head of the committee. We have information of X, Y, and Z in Portmore, West Kingston, and South. And we are not able to go in there unless we keep those people there and go and get them where we're here.
I'll tell you the answer. First of all, they should that kind of information, untested, yes, is a rule of the security forces. You can't allow that. But even if in desperate circumstances you were to say that had to be responded to, if you take in XY, as they took in Pearnel, Charles, Babsy Grange, and all the rest, yes, then your right is to be, as Golding is suggesting, take you before a court where you test that information, and that is the basis of either your continued detention or your liberty.
In the state of emergency,
why not just accept that?
In the state of emergency that you supported, have a clause which is not a
Look what happened yesterday. The very regulations of the state of emergency now in power have had to be withdrawn for refinement. So what is you don't understand. Well, you do understand. The police are out there doing whatever they feel like.
I'm not going to agree with you on that. I am going to. Let me say why. Because there are some policemen who I don't think should be in the force. And there are some policemen who, after pressure that they're under, being in the force.
The integrity of a policeman can't be the contingent factor of my liberty. I'm not free or not free because some policeman like or don't like me or feel this or is good or bad. That is not a society. You can't do that, sir.
Answer this because
you cannot do that.
Somebody's asking me.
Who?
I said, what about those people who are suffering at the hands of these people? What do you have to offer
to
protect them?
First of all, yes, if the authorities say they need 5,000 more police, let's have them. Let's afford them.
But when you can't have 5,000 police by January next year.
No. We spoke.
And the blood is running now.
Hello, sir. It's been running for 25 years.
Yes, but then it has to stop.
So fine. What you're doing is not going to make it stop. It make it stop as the commissioner himself admitted, for 10 days. And after that, the spike goes right up again. You know that. And yet, what are we faced? The government has nothing by way of a crime plan other than a state of emergency.
Every time I hear this crime plan business, and none of you can come to Parliament with a resolution with a crime plan.
Oh, believe me.
Why don't you come with a plan and put it before and get my support?
First of all, you well remember the number of instances that I myself rose when I had a chance, yes, to speak about the measures that were necessary alongside every repression. Where is Project Hope? Where is the mandatory engagement of every one of those rebel youth who are the crime fodder for the big people in the gangs? Where are they?
Let me tell you, Ronnie.
If you had West Kingston, where despite the noble leadership over so many years of a man like Mr. Edward Seaga, didn't admire him in some respects, came in his final years to have regard for him when I knew him better. Yes, when he was the most powerful political leader there, and yet what happened? So many young people. So many, hundreds of them, many of them now lying in Maypen Cemetery, became drawn into the presidential clique follow Jim Brown and do this. Yes? What is the measure of that? What folly of mind do we think that by having a state of emergency, we are going to stop people lurching into criminality in Jamaica? Where they must go?
Yeah, but don't give Sierra all the praise, because
I'm not.
Tony Spaulding was up there with this. Yeah. Michael Manny was over here with this.
And none of them none of us, because of the system that we have in this country, because of the way we allocate resources, because of the way this very budget now is being constructed, we are not determined to move people out of the mentality of crime any more than we are prepared to move them away from teeth in toilet paper in the hospital.
I'm going to conclude by saying to you that what you want cannot happen. What you want to happen, Ronnie, cannot happen overnight.
No.
Hold on.
I agree.
If you're going, you can train these who are just coming now, 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
But those who are in their late 20s
no contest.
and early 30 and 40, what are you going to do with them?
Charge them for what they do wrong.
You just went to a graduation.
Charge them for what they do wrong.
Ronnie, how do you get to what they do wrong?
And so if you can't get to do wrong, you're going to charge them anyway. You're going to lock them up anyway. My God, I can't live here. I have to go.
No.
I have to leave.
But I tell you why you have to leave.
Right now.
Let me tell you why you have to leave. Because you have a mouth, you can't talk. You have an eye, you're blind. You have an ears, you're deaf.
When we come back from the break,
when you have that situation.
What a spirited argument with the Honorable Pearnel Charles. A man who has been captured, a man who has been freed, has his mind been freed. Where are we going? This is the public eye and the open mind on the bridge. We soon come. So look what we get now. We get Aljamain Sterling back with us this afternoon. Welcome home, Aljamain.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. Tell us about yourself. Where you come from in Jamaica and where you're there now?
So I'm actually first generation Jamaican-American. Both my parents were born in Kingston, born and raised, and my grandparents as well. Mm-hmm. I grew up in Uniondale, New York, Long Island, and it's definitely with the Jamaican household heritage. So it's been a very interesting time growing up. I'm a family of 22 siblings.
22 siblings?
22.
Wow. But better than Charles and myself put together. We have about 14 to go.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yes, good. So that was a big household, and then what after that?
I started wrestling. Went to college, and then from college, I got involved with the sport mixed martial arts, which is the cage fighting that people probably see on TV from time to time.
Explain for that. Cage fighting. What is that?
So MMA, it's mixed martial arts. It's wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, taekwondo, judo. Just all forms of martial arts.
What attracted you to this? Is it sport?
It's the competition. So I love to compete. I competed in wrestling. We never got paid. So I was like, okay, so we can cut weight, lose weight, compete, but this time we fight, and this time we make money. So I was like, I did the maths, and I was like, okay, this makes sense.
So people come and watch you and pay to see you engage in these sports?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, no, we don't have a developed tradition of that here.
No.
There's some of it, but maybe that's why you're visiting us in Jamaica.
Something like that. You know, I'm trying to help, I guess, bring more exposure to the sport down here. That's what we did last time when I came out here in 2017. I did a 1-week seminar, just jumping around to different gyms from Kingston to Mobay, Ochi, and just helping out and sharing the knowledge that I've learned over the years.
What is the effect of engaging in martial arts? It makes you able to defend yourself, no doubt. That's a good thing. But what effect does it have on, say, young people, and particularly maybe some of those who you have interacted with in Jamaica so far?
I would say the effect is just people feeling like they can achieve anything. People that, at least for me, that that look like us, talk like us. You know, there's an appreciation. Especially coming from here, there's not a lot of resources to do these type of sports. So, a lot of people, they go abroad. So I'm hoping that could be one of the pathways that we can open to try to develop the sport down here, because we have a lot of talent, as a lot of people know. We're fast, we're strong, we're agile, we have good frames for different types of athletics, and it's just about having the opportunity. So I think.
But Pearnel, I want to ask him, what does engagement in this do to your character? Do you become an aggressive person? Do you become less? Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think for me, I've actually become more level-headed, more grounded, more humble.
You have to be a disciplined person.
Yes, it's a very disciplined sport.
Important.
Yeah. It requires you to do what you are directed to do based on those who know what give you the development process.
Are there rules?
Oh yeah, there's rules.
Okay.
I mean, we're like very limited style. Like I would say the rules: there's no eye gouging, there's no low blows and things like that. You can't grab the fence. But for the most part, I mean, you can't kick down opponents. That's actually how I got the belt.
We're going to talk about the belt, yes. Yeah. You can't kick down your opponents.
Yeah, so if the opponents are on their knees, they're considered a down opponent. So from that position, you're not allowed to kick them in the head. You're not allowed to knee them in the head.
Yeah, but when you get out the ring, does that offer you personal protection?
The belt?
No.
Yeah, of course. You know how to protect yourself. And I think the best part about it is even when you're in situations that might seem aggressive, you're more inclined to kind of diffuse the situation more than amp it up and try to.
I take 10 seconds to tell you what frightens me.
Yeah.
I had a big Alsatian dog, almost catch me up to the chest. And walking that dog one morning, a gentleman was coming down the road. And whatever he had on him, the dog said to me, "Goodbye, I'm going after him." And the dog jumped straight in his chest. And he just turned, grabbed the dog in the neck, and just back him off and hold him. And I said, my God, I thought the man would kill him.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "You still need him?" I said, and he can't give me to you. So I said,
martial arts.
Why were you able to do that? He said, "I'm the one from the military in the police training that trains dog."
Okay.
So
but the techniques,
even that give you a protection.
The techniques of martial
arts. A discipline
arts.
that you have to have.
You have to have that. To be in a sport, you'll see people that want to compete just because they want to get into a fight. But the longer you stay in the sport, the more you realize that it's not about that. It's about protection. It's about becoming a better individual and just understanding your self-worth and just understanding more about peace than wanting to just go hurt somebody just because you feel like hurting somebody.
Which is very important. We're coming back to that. But tell me about this belt. I could barely lift it up. And it's resplendent on our TV cameras here. But tell us, what's the history of this belt? How come you have it?
So I won the belt, which I was kind of touching on earlier from disqualification. I was the first person to ever win the belt like that, which is not a proud achievement. I was a down opponent, got kneed in the head. This was about maybe 16 months ago at this point. And then I had a rematch after I had an artificial disc replacement in my neck with the C6, C7 disc. So I had that replaced. And then 13 months later, we had a rematch. I won the belt the right way.
The same fellow?
The same guy, yeah.
Wow.
His nickname is No Mercy.
No Mercy?
Yeah, so
oh, God.
You can imagine the type of fighter this guy is, right?
Yes.
So I managed to win the rematch. And then I just defended the belt again in Abu Dhabi, October 22nd.
Really?
They took some disc out of his neck too?
I hope so.
No, you can't do that.
I need him to be just like me.
You can't do that. Yeah, but I'm interested in the mental preparation for and the mental reorientation that takes place through martial arts. Aljamain, we are looking in Jamaica. We have a lot of pent-up aggression, for all kinds of reasons.
Yeah.
And we more and more we need opportunities for young people to dispel that. And I believe that this can be martial arts, other sports, but particularly something as intense and contact as martial arts can help. What do you think?
I 100% agree with you. I think when you have a bad day, you could go to the gym and you can kind of just release that negative energy, especially like hitting the pads or hitting the bag and just getting that aggression out till you're like fatigued. I just feel like overall you feel better, you got a good workout in, and I think it kind of gives you a little bit of clarity, if that makes sense. I think people that have actually done the sport, they kind of understand it a little bit more because you don't really get it until you actually do it and you're like, okay, now I understand what they're talking about. I think when you have that opportunity, it's almost like one of those rage rooms. I don't know if you guys ever heard about those, where people can go in and they can just break stuff and smash stuff and then they kind of walk out relieved. So it's kind of something like that. It's a little bit of a therapy.
Okay.
The average Jamaican is challenged by competition.
Yes.
particularly if it gives
Love to
not
compete.
only a praise but adequate
Some reward.
And I've been telling my colleague here that I went into his former constituency and saw pretty near 60 or 70 young men, as if they're same age, all between 15 and 18, playing with one football. And if they had something that was attractive to them and give them some, not necessarily only money, but that spirit of winning and, you know, that competitive nature of it, we wouldn't have to happen what after they play the football, you know, because they don't have it. Where they go? What do they do?
Yeah.
Somebody with a computer show them how to look at money.
Yeah, scam. But then that Pearnel's comments leads me to my question. Yes, what's your dream for your skill, for your person in Jamaica?
So we were talking about this a little bit earlier. The main thing I would like to hopefully one day accomplish is if we can open the doors to maybe creating like a destination gym facility out here where people from different parts of Jamaica could come together and train. And it would be low overhead, where it makes it more, I guess, feasible for people that might not have the resources for a monthly bill or something like that. You could get them involved, maybe coaching or things of that nature. And then I think that can help bring in some more visitors. Instead of them going to like Thailand or Bali or Australia to go train, they could come straight down here, which is a lot closer from the States. And I think that could be a good revenue generator. I think it could bring in resources for the kids. And I think it give people a place to actually train where they can hone their skills. And then if you get proper mats and things like that, bags and equipment, now people will have actual resources for them to utilize. Because again, we got the talent, we got the power, we got the speed, we got the good frames for just about any sport that we want to do. Is just having the opportunity to do these things. And I think even for me, when being in college, I wrestled D3. I didn't wrestle D1 because I didn't have the resources or the grades to get into that Division I level school. So I had to start at D3. I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna just stay here because for me to spend all that money, I don't have it for me to go D1 just because I want to wrestle. Wrestling doesn't pay the bills, you know. It's just something you do because you love it, and that's what we're talking about now. You want to do these things because you love it, not necessarily because it brings in money. But yeah.
If it helps you to be fulfilled, if it helps you to know yourself better, if it helps you to control aggression, if it helps you to relax if you're utterly stressed, then these are good things. How will you try and implement what you dream for your interaction with Jamaica? Where are you based normally, in the U.S.?
Yeah, so I'm split between Long Island and Las Vegas.
Okay.
So I go back and forth between the two.
Right. And you're hoping that you will have another base perhaps here at some stage in the future?
That would be ideal.
Wow.
But let me ask you, how would you get that into the after the tuition, after class, you know?
It's extracurricular activity.
Exactly, where you between 5 o'clock and 7 or 9 when those young people want to go to bed or find something. That is the area that of their life that is uncontrollable.
But if
anybody can lead them.
But if they could,
if we had some rooms, some gyms.
But we have, there are places, there are enough community centers that are not being used. There's that Stanley Couch gym on East Queen Street, which is underused. Boxing was its original venue, but I mean it's open for all of this kind of things. And as you say, it doesn't cost a lot to get going, does it?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that gym, but I did actually hear about that earlier today.
Yeah. And if it's to get some coaches who could do that, but it could be a tremendous release for young people.
100%.
The Minister of Sports could.
Can you imagine if the Army? If the Army were to say this is part of our reconstruction of young people.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, sir, although my colleague don't totally agree with me, I am worried about that part of this generation between the ages of 16, 17 up to 30-something.
But let me,
they don't have anything that they say they're trained for. All they have is strong muscles, as you have said, a mind, some graduate from school, some can write their name.
What ages are appropriate for an introduction to martial arts?
I would say, depending on the child, I would say 5, 6 years old.
What?
Yeah.
5, 6. Well, yeah. I shouldn't exclaim, because I do know of instances where that happens. Certainly for Taekwondo it's something that you can increase and get degrees in and advance yourself.
Degrees, you could get promotions.
That's
with
what I mean.
jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. Yeah. With other sports like boxing, there isn't really a graduation tier. You kind of just feel your development getting better as time goes on.
But let me ask you another question: male as well as female, or only male?
Which one? This sport?
Your sport.
Females do it as well.
Females do it as well.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Females.
They fight. They compete.
Females compete as well.
Oh yes. And in fact, the women seem to be doing better. They are more attractive. Attractive in their performance.
Yes, Mr. Charles. Yes, Mr. Charles. We know about you. They are undoubtedly more attractive.
I'm kind. They're not kind to women. When I see these girls getting some muscles,
wrestling,
and doing it,
have mercy.
Very attractive.
And you don't feel at all endangered?
No, I feel protected.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time, Aljamain?
Probably just working on my podcast, maybe being a part-time coach, and maybe even using my college degree and going back to teaching. I don't know. I'm still kind of undecided. I dabble in a little bit of real estate back in the States. And I guess my main passion is just competing. I love wrestling, and it was a sport that taught me so much about myself and about life. There's a quote that we go by. It's like, once you wrestle in life, anything in life is easy. Because there's
once
nothing.
You wrestle, anything in life is easy.
Yeah.
Unpack that for me in the minute or two we have left. Why?
Just the amount that you have to do to sacrifice to compete, cutting weight, going to these tournaments that you sit in all day long. If you lose, you sit there all day. There's no other satisfaction that you get other than just an opportunity to win.
What was the retirement age?
I was going to retire at 32, but I'm 33 now, so.
What?
I'm 33 now.
No, what is the retirement right across in the profession?
Oh, in the sport?
That I would say, these guys have gone through that, and they would like to come and do some teaching. And
it ranges, man. There's still people at 44 that are competing right now, which is crazy to me. Yeah, so I mean, I would say average those maybe 36 years old.
A short shelf life.
36, 37.
Yeah. But listen now, your idea of using the character that you have developed, the orientation towards yourself, others, yes, the discipline. If you were to make yourself available to teach, particularly in a context where so many people, I'm sure it's the same in the United States. In fact, I know it is, where people are searching around for purpose, identity, etc. That would be a great gift of your life, sir.
It would be. I do enjoy it. That's why I went to school for teaching, because I like teaching, I like coaching. I didn't really have the best upbringing with a crazy family like that, so you can imagine all my parents had to do just to provide. So it wasn't the healthiest household, but I understand what it is, and I made it work for me, and I figured out how to turn a negative into a positive.
To turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
Which is such a lesson, because that's what most of us have to do at various interstices of our life,
Yeah.
That's really good. Proud of you, glad to know you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Come again, Aljamain. His forebears are Jamaican, and he still carries the Jamaican blood in him. Aljamain Sterling, martial arts expert, offering himself, prospecting to see how he can be engaged in Jamaica. That's wonderful news. Thanks very much for joining us. This is the Bridge 99 FM. This is the Public Eye. Pearnel, Charles and myself are the hosts in Jamaica, and we want to join Erwin Clare for the Global Connection on Arijam just as soon as we get the signal. Erwin, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you?
Well, I tell you, I watched the news all the way up to 12 o'clock last night, and I am feeling a little better this morning.
So did I. This was, Pearnel, of course, the news of the Georgia senatorial election.
Let me ask you, Did you get the shock that I got? I turn off CNN and go to my bed.
Why did you do that?
CNN announced Walker as the winner.
No, man. You thought so.
CNN put Walker. I am sure.
It was going back and forth, It was going back and forth.
But
so
listen to me.
He was leading.
Yeah, but listen to me. That's nice. So there is a greater advantage in the Senate of the United States now, and a man of apparent probity, of moderation, and good judgment. A pastor who walks in the feet and serves in the pulpit of Ebenezer Baptist.
I don't know. You're going to. Why are you claiming him? And he's a politician?
No. Listen what he's
so
doing.
I will claim the politics, and you claim the pastor.
And he's both, and I was both at a different level. But the question I have for Erwin and for you, sir, is how many million people voted for a man who had no sense whatever, who talked stupidness, yes, and who couldn't represent himself, much less, and had a seamy background, and he didn't win, thank God, but he came close to winning.
Well, they weren't voting for him.
1 point something. 1 point.
You mean they weren't voting for him?
No, man, they weren't voting for him.
We don't vote for.
They were voting for the whole idea of having that seat in the Republican Party.
So,
you notice every time
so
he
that
spoke,
makes it worse.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So America now is divided right down the middle between people who are prepared to do that, to almost elect, excuse me, my exaggeration, a person who is bordering on an imbecile. Yes, because they want to support Donald Trump, another one of the same order.
That too.
My God, man, what is going to happen to the world?
Along with
what you have to tell us? Along
with the whole idea that the state of Georgia, there are places in Georgia that if you put up a dog that's running on the Republican line against Pearnel Charles, the dog will win. That's how it goes. Well, they still haven't got to that point yet. However, what is happening in the state of Georgia is
what's happened to Erwin Clare? Don't touch anything when he's on, We seem to have lost him. Didn't that concern you, though, Pearnel? How many people, in fact, still supported this Trump-back Herschel Walker? Although he
but I haven't heard much of Walker. I heard more of Trump for Walker than Walker himself.
Well, just as well, because he doesn't seem to have had much to say for himself. I mean,
so how did he go? I haven't heard any presentation of.
No, why? Because we don't have anything to present. What him present is just vampire and spirits and all kind of foolishness. Seriously. But believe me, America, which we think of as being the apogee of democracy, who send people to come and monitor our elections all over the world, they don't have a thing to tell us.
Well, let me bounce you off of that. There are many people who vote for the party and not the man.
Oh.
There are many people, even in Jamaica.
So what are they voting for? I accept that, but they're voting for a system that supports fake news, that supports utter selfishness, that supports the diminution of rights, that supports at the first the moment you scratch the skin, it's racist. No, please.
And you can always find that. Speaking about the opposite party. You can always find some in my party and some in yours.
I have no doubt, sir, but I hope you're not saying that truth in order to dispel the fact that there's a vast illiberal, anti-democratic trend in United States politics now, which may well overtake the entire system.
Well, you could say that if Venezuela, if Brazil had gone the other way.
Yes, I could.
You could say what is going to happen in Israel.
Yes.
And you can say what is happening up in Ukraine.
Yes, this is why I don't please don't give me the echo. This is why I'm really hoping we don't go that way in Jamaica.
Well, be careful how you say that way, because they might believe you're talking about if there's to be a change.
No, but whichever way, change or no change. That's my worry.
You mean the system, the Jamaican system doesn't go that way?
Sir?
Yeah, the politics of Jamaica.
I am old enough to have been not a part of, but to be a careful observer of the framing of the Jamaica Constitution, Order in Council, 1962.
Yes.
I had the honor of being a parliamentarian, you did too, when a previous JLP regime under Bruce Golding crafted the Charter of Rights, which extended the Chapter 3 of the Human Rights Charter. Yes, and when I hear anybody, and especially a person at the level of the Prime Minister of this country, aided and abetted by some people who should know better in the legal profession within his administration, speak about altering the Constitution to diminish freedom. Yes, I am scared.
No, but you are interpreting what you say.
It's very words that the security forces must be given more authority to declare emergency. No, sir, that is clear. This is the security forces. The security forces are to enforce law according to the principles of justice.
But doesn't that what it means?
But that's not what. No.
No. If you are saying that the security force must be given more authority,
I'm not saying
they
that.
They can only get that in additional law.
But that law would be unconstitutional.
Well, but put it away, it can only come through constitutional law.
How much more beating in the constitutional court this government going to get?
I don't know. A lot has come and gone into it since it was established in '62. Am I correct?
A lot of what? A lot of
additional things.
But the Charter of Rights is, to my mind, one of the stellar achievements of our independence period. It was, to me.
Is it complete, Ronnie?
The Charter of Rights?
Yes.
It's as good as it's going to be. It's as good as it's going to be. And we should be, I'm not saying you don't have change, but the one thing you don't change is to reduce people's liberty, not the liberty of the criminal. The criminal is entitled to due process. But that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about reducing everybody's liberty and making them more under the control of a police force or security forces.
How do you say that?
There's no argument,
How do you say that to the Commissioner of Police, who said to the Prime Minister?
Said to the Commissioner of Police, reform your police, your police force. Demand that you have people of the highest intelligence and integrity there so that you can do the
You have the time and the people for that?
Appropriate. Of course you do. Undoubtedly it would take time. If we had started 20 years ago, we were much further ahead now. We have technology.
But by the time you
we have billions of dollars.
They retire?
We have these are small excuses, Pearnel. You couldn't rely on that. You could not say that, or you could not raise those objections as a basis for weakening the fundamental tenets of liberty.
No, I am in full support of strengthening the liberty of all of us, including the police, because a lot of people don't want to give the police the right that they have and need to go after the criminal.
No. If that is the case and they're doing it according to law, and when we call people criminals, we have to be careful who is criminal, because today for me, tomorrow to you, the gunman, the robber, all those people, sure, yes, but it is very easy. We, in the 1970s, many of us, Mr. Charles, thought of you as a criminal and wanted to, and gave the authorities of the security forces the right to take away your liberty. I regret that. We must never walk that way again, and you must never be.
And you keep reminding me that the only light that I saw was the hole in the key.
Well,
you have to put your eye on the key to see any light.
Erwin.
Yes.
Yeah, man. You hear strong words going today here.
Very, 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 very strong words. And we must apologize for that little breakdown just now.
Yeah, man. Never mind.
But very solid argument there. And as you know, gentlemen, as we speak on the whole situation of security, the Prime Minister, of course, is in Washington as we speak, looking forward to have dialogue with Department of State, Justice, the FBI, and others, and to partake in seminars here on the whole situation of crime and violence.
But listen to me. While I think that's a good, it's good that that's the case. Nothing is going to come out of it. The American, the law and the culture of gun toting and gun running in the States, the freedom of being able to access weapons. How on earth is anybody going to stop them crossing the border, whether it is into Haiti or Jamaica?
You see, the situation here is that
why we can't open the barrel. Yes?
All right, okay, that's what I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to ask a question now. Hold one sec for me. And rightfully so, and I don't know, I don't have no evidence, but it has been said that folks in the diaspora who may have migrated with the whole donmanship situation, or even access to send guns and whatever it is in barrels coming home. So that has been established. If we know that, what are we doing about it?
Couple of things.
We have never heard of the shipper who was involved in this, so we can shame them. We can do that.
Yeah.
We never heard of a shipper name called. We never heard of anyone in Jamaica except the taxi man taking the stuff away, being intercepted. So what about those checkpoints in Jamaica? I'm just saying, maybe it's now time that we may need to take a little hiatus and say with no more barrels coming to Jamaica for the next 3 months and see what happens.
Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe, Erwin, they are operating at a higher level than the people who we have here ability to examine those areas.
Okay.
So maybe, in other words, a man who can lift up 100 pounds is much better than a man who can lift up 10 pounds.
Sure.
Agreed.
So you may have to seek support.
And that is fine. But here goes the other part to that. And I can only hope that while the Prime Minister is here, and he meets with the State Department and the FBI and all those folks, who I might remind Jamaicans that they themselves are also caught up with the local aspect of crime and violence here in the United States, that we're taking to the table the skill sets and persons who may have intimate knowledge as to how these organizations operate, so that when the dialogue is started, there can be a lot more sensitivities at the table. There are people of Jamaican extraction and Caribbean extraction here in the diaspora whom I'm certain could add value to those kind of discussions. And I'm just saying that we have experience in the past where skill sets from the diaspora, whether it be Jamaicans or other Caribbean persons, have been kind of put aside for others to provide the opportunity of advice who have no knowledge of our culture or how things operate in Jamaica. And I'm just saying that opportunities still exist there, that those kind of dialogues can be had to find solutions.
Well, Erwin, one of the things that bothers me is, for example, a woman said to me, she's crying when she got a call from one of her grandsons, who she said to him, "What do you need for Christmas?" He said, "Mommy, don't worry, send no more clothes and food here. I have to get a gun." What?
Oh?
He wants a gun because a pure shooting going on. He don't say him shooting, you know. But he wants a gun. Now, when people are prepared to go that, let us multiply that by 150 people in the diaspora who's having that application, that requirement, that request from a Jamaican or Jamaicans here. Where the hell are we going?
Well, I'm disappointed, and folks listen to the tri-state area now. If you're part of that family structure that provides those kind of requests as Santa Claus, then we're rebuking you, one. But two,
yes,
if you are using a shipper here to send those things down, and Jamaica intercepts it, we need to know who those shippers are too. Because there has to be responsibilities on all sides, because the honor system don't work. Me telling you not to do it, Pearnel and Ronnie, don't work no more. That don't ever work.
All right, let me ask you a question.
We're going to take a break.
You are Johnny, and you live in a certain part of Jamaica where gun flying all over the place, man a shoot man all over the place. You feel that the only way you can live is if you have a gun.
That's sad. That is sad. That is sad.
But a lot of people who are applying for gun, that's why they apply for gun.
Yeah. All right.
The reason I run into it don't apply for a gun. Him said nobody can shoot him.
No.
Well.
Him wear a thing around him neck, him sure.
All I want is time to say, Lord have mercy.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's time for a break now, Lord of mercy. It's time for a break now. When we come back, we'll continue the dialogue. And we should have special guests when we come back, Ronnie?
Yes, man.
Okay.
All the best. Looking
All right.
forward. Super.
All right. We welcome you back to the Global Connection. Ira Jam connecting with the Bridge 99 FM in Jamaica. Ronnie Thwaites, Pearnel Charles. My name is Erwin Clare. I want to say good day to you. We trust that your day thus far has been an empowered one. We're going to now rejoin our folks there in Jamaica.
Ready.
Yes. Good day, sir.
Present and ready.
All right. Good students. Good students. Well, listen, I think our guests are ready, Ronnie.
So I'm told.
Yeah, well, when I first was contacted, I had to do a due diligence with this gentleman who calls himself Rod Knox. Because when I heard the word Knox, I said, "Best in Knox College." Then he started mentioning something about him used to go to school in Kingston and Vineyard Town and all. I'm from the country, so I don't know those places too much. But anyway, our guests today, Rod Knox, principal of Rod Knox Architect here in New York, and his partner David Adler, a registered architect here in New York. And I must tell you that these gentlemen are onto something, because they're talking. If you remember last week, Ronnie, we spoke about container housing as part of the mix, as we know, the whole housing conundrum in Jamaica. Well, Rod Knox is a native of Kingston. And just to give you a few tidbits about him, he's a professor at architecture at Cooper Union. He's a veteran in the U.S. Navy. He has completed a wide variety of projects here in New York City. His partner, David Adler, is also an architect for over 25 years. And these two gentlemen have come together to share with us today a project called Jamboo, a collaboration led by Jamaican national Rod Knox to address community housing needs in time of climate change using sustainable products like bamboo. You know that product, bamboo, that we have so much of in Jamaica? Well, let's welcome them to the program.
Hello, Mr. Knox. Hello, Mr. Adler. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you very much. Mr. Knox, welcome home. Happy to have you with us.
Go ahead. Are you hearing us there?
We're hearing,
Yes.
we're hearing
Loud
you
and
very
clear.
well. Yes, good.
Oh, perfect. We're also, Amy Jackson is also part of our team, part of Rod Knox's office. We're here in New York, and I'm going to give a brief introduction.
We're brought together, Mike. Cooper Union.
Yeah, to be clear, Rod was my professor at Cooper Union. I graduated in 1988, and Amy's also a Cooper Union.
Graduated in 1990.
1990, and we've in the last year and a half been working together on the things we're going to show you right now.
Okay, but we're interested. What is Jamboo?
We're gonna show you.
Okay, all right. David is going to tell you all about Jamboo.
I'm hoping I can share my screen here. Is that?
I will actually, guys. We have a larger radio audience, so you may need to just put it in a conceptual format for us. Yes, go ahead.
Sure. I was in Jamaica in.
You can show the pictures, while you talk.
Can we show the pictures?
Yes, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk you through it. So even people on the radio will be.
Are you seeing my screen?
I really think you have to go. You have to use words for me.
You have to use words for us, sir. Just go right ahead. All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's a shame.
Wow.
We would have brought
We had
drawings.
this big presentation to show you because we thought you could see it. Too bad.
Well, we can direct everybody to jamboo.site, which has all of our drawings, and really the.
But I'm sure we will. But please tell us what it is.
Sure. We grouped together to. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a long story, just how we got into it. I was in Jamaica in 2016 and met a local in Irishtown who needed help, or he was describing to me a house he was building, and I got involved with helping him do this a modest house on a steep hill, and over several years became involved with this gentleman, and through that became involved with the Caribbean School of Architecture and UTEC and the Bamboo Institute of Jamaica and a bunch of primarily I became interested in biofibers, which Jamaica has many. Bamboo is one, and hemp and ginger, and there's everywhere you look are things that you can build with. And I was talking to experts around the world about this, and got involved with the Build Jamaica Expo, and they wanted us to do a bamboo structure there. And that went on for a long time, working with the Bamboo Industry Association of Jamaica and the Bureau of Standards, and it was moving very slowly. And in 2020, my son is a journalist, and he introduced me to.
You should present it the way you sort of like set it up, and yeah, show the pictures, because that's what, and if they can't see, that's all right. They'll still hear it.
But let me ask you this, gentlemen, because remember now, folks are listening on the radio. Primarily, share with us in a simplistic term, because Jamaica, as you all know, has challenges in the housing market. Are you saying that what you're presenting to the marketplace is an alternative, is an add to the housing mix? Because from a sustainable standpoint, subscribing to all the climate change situations. Talk to us from that perspective. Because people are looking.
That's exactly
right.
where we wound up.
Yes.
We wound up through a series, through all these a long and winding path to get there, but we continued to kind of gather forces, and Rod was a later addition, because in the first 5 years it was learning about all these resources that exist already, and then in 2020 I met KNOX in New York. And a year went by, but still working, and there was the announcement of the pulp plant in Westmoreland, and KNOX put me in touch with Zach Harding, and started to talk to him, and at that point, we wanted to do something bigger than the and at that point I brought in Rod Knox, who's I'll just add to his bio, in addition to being in the U.S. Navy, he studied art at Cooper Union, which is a very prestigious school in New York City, and he studied art for 4 years, and then architecture for 5 years, and then he got his master's at Harvard, and then he taught at Cooper Union as a architecture professor for 40 years. So Rod is an architect's architect.
Yeah.
And so I went to I thought we kind of assembled the dream team, and at that point we had about a year. It was during the pandemic. We talked with KNOX on Zoom calls for a year, and Rod and Amy, and we wanted to kind of create a holistic vision of what what architecture should be. Kind of and architects never kind of get to do things from scratch. We always have clients, so it's a new idea to have architects invent something and then search for a client. So
it's a luxury.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, Rod. Let me ask you this. As we rope it back into the whole Jamaican thing, you have an idea of our culture. How does this fit into our housing mix? Talk to us about the structure.
Well, I designed it precisely for that, but it requires one thing that isn't there, an ingredient that's missing, is that I've been told that Jamaicans don't like to share, and the only way life is going to change for them down there is if they learn to share. And this project is about the benefits of sharing. You get better service, better infrastructure, better security, better everything if you learn to share. And instead of please.
Yeah, and in sharing, what is it? In other words, we have societies just as though we have here in the United States and in Jamaica. A condominium. People do share same spaces. People do share. Is that what we're talking about? But in
no,
a more
that's
spread
not what
of.
we're talking
okay,
about.
then share us what we're talking
I'll
about.
tell you what is closest to what we're talking about is the concept of co-housing. Are you familiar with that? Where people share a space, like old people and younger people, and it's more and more popular because it saves so much resources that it's just a matter of to own each thing individually. To own a plot of land and build a house on it is not as good as owning when you put 4 plots of land together and you put 4 houses that you share and build it as one, and you have all this extra land and you know there's more water collection, there's more life to enjoy for the same. Like for instance, the Jamaica Bamboo folks or the National Housing folks, they built some minimal housing and they washed away in the last rain you had, and people paid a pretty penny for those houses, and it's just money down the chute. So it costs a lot of money to be cheap, and this is what you end up getting all the time. So why not buy something with quality? And and all of this that we've done has to do with quality. And a system of building, system of delivery, made and produced in Jamaica by Jamaicans. The money stays in Jamaica. And it's too bad you can't see the presentation.
I'm sharing now. Are you seeing it?
Well, again, it's not practical in this particular environment. But coming back to this, and we can direct people to your website so they can see this.
Yeah, but we've made a presentation specifically for this because we were of the impression that it would be like a Zoom call.
Well, we're on radio, a Zoom call, but we're on radio. Coming back to the whole situation of housing solutions, and Ronnie and Pearnel, we have heard of, like last week we were talking about the whole situation of containerization and how that contributes to the housing stock. We have seen what has taken place even at the World Cup. A stadium was built out of 974 containers. As we seek to explore new avenues, we are saying that this is a part of the mix. It will not fit everybody, but at the same token, though, it subscribes to the whole situation of climate change, the whole situation of green living, and utilizing products that are readily available within our society. Rod, is it possible for you to expound some more about the usage of bamboo and the products from bamboo in this kind of housing presentation? Well,
the first thing to dispel is that that bamboo is this great building material. It really isn't. It's good for pavilions and all that because left out to the elements, it deteriorates very quickly. It has to be protected, and so it's best to use it like the vulgaris type of bamboo you have in Jamaica. They consider it garbage, but it's not garbage. It can be used as filler to make panels, and and a different way. So you don't the structure doesn't look like it's bamboo, but it's as strong as bamboo, and it's made of bamboo products, and as opposed to like looking like a hotel playroom or something like that. It's just using whatever is available. As a matter of fact, it's not. I wouldn't even. It's not even a bamboo house per se. It's a house that can be made out of whatever is at hand.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We were very interested in the pulp mill because they're creating fibers that you can do things with, and there are new technologies that are just coming up that can make stronger versions of essentially cardboard, and our proposal is to start research into those materials.
And by the way, the mill, that is what got my ire, because I discovered this mill, the deal that Jamaica made shocked me. I mean, it just stunned me. I picked myself off the floor and said, I have to do something about this, because Jamaica only gets polluted rivers. They get no jobs. They get nothing. And these people just pollute the place and take all our resources and go. You know, and all we do is get to serve them some sandwiches at lunchtime. And you know, it's the same old going on. And I just thought, you know, you got to do something about that nonsense. You know,
right. So my question,
that was a project that really set me off.
Okay, let me ask you this now, because we're getting ready to close this segment here. Your next step here, where do you plan to take the next? What's the next move on this project, this Jamboo collaboration? What's the next step here?
We want the Ford Foundation has shown an interest in it. Okay. And we are going full speed ahead with that. And we'd love to have Jamaica come along, but they may be left behind because other people are showing interest in it and see value to it. And it's a future. And you know, we're dreamers, and this is a dream. But you know, it seems strange that Jamaica is so reluctant to get on board, and so the train is going to leave them at the station.
Well, you being there, you have a responsibility to help to change that. And
I would love to do that, but where can I go? That's why I'm speaking to you, because I'm surprised that the reception from Jamaica is kind of very lukewarm. You know, it's I expected a better reception.
I gather the whole process have to be reconstituted, as I say in Jamaica, come again. But I think that we have to continue at it. If it's worthwhile, there will be supporters. Rod Knox.
But who do we talk? Oh, we're talking to you. You're supposed to have, you know, we're looking to you to tell us.
We're on the radio right now, so I gather folks who are listening right now with interest will be making some outright commitments and making some contacts to you. It starts. It's a process. It's a process.
The Reverend Ronnie Thwaites and Chief Pearnel Charles. Can they help us get some attention?
We're listening carefully. I'd love to see any literature that you had in that regard. Please don't laugh at us.
I would imagine the church would jump on this one real fast.
If we knew more about it, we would. Please.
But if you had visuals, you'd know everything about it, because we had a fabulous presentation for you.
Yeah, but
you can't perceive it.
The site is jamboo.site. And it explains, you know, there's two projects. There's the housing project, and Rod designed a cathedral, essentially.
A pavilion in the park.
A pavilion, but it's a monument, and it overlooks the cane fields, ideally. And it's
there is no venue for performance in Jamaica. The headquarters of
let me shout and ask you a question. In looking at the bamboo industry, please remember what region of the world we are living in. We have visited at least 2-3 times. You know the story. June too soon. July stand by, August look out you must.
I don't
September remember, November all over. You remember that story?
Yes, I do.
So but I just want to encourage, but I tell you that the bamboo situation has surfaced several times in Jamaica and has come along, and then we are visited by this person who we cannot control and put it to the ground, it comes back up. So if it comes with a project, then you have to know where, how, and be prepared for this sort of situation.
I'd like that email
All right.
address again, please. Jamboo.
Yeah, can we have the website again?
Jamboo, JAMBOO .site, SITE.
Very
All right.
well.
All right. Well, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Erwin.
All right. We're going to take a commercial break here. When we come back, we'll continue the dialogue here on The Bridge and Irie Jam 93.5. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Okay, picking up now. this is interesting because we have of course prolific growth of bamboo. I'm wondering if there's any information on its fire resistance. Pearnel has made reference to the need for very heavy reinforcement because of our proclivity to hurricanes and floods, and of course there is the strong historical pattern of preferring concrete and steel as being our building materials. How do we match, and very importantly, how do we compare cost?
And that's something I think will be part of the whole mix. Because
there's another element, just so that you can respond, Erwin, and it has to do with insurability. You know
that too.
Because the insurance companies are vital in this thing. If you're going to expend, whether it's any kind of commercial money on it, you have to be able to prove your insurability.
Indeed.
And you can hardly match that with fire. You know, bamboo is so magnetic to fire.
and they did say it was a fiber from it, and it was not the bamboo product itself. But again, these are some of the dynamics that we see taking place all over the world as people seek to find housing solutions for the ever-growing challenges towards that. The few moments we have, gentlemen, we had started off about the whole situation of I think, Ronnie, you had asked me, you know, that now that we have a Warner and the 51 going forth, etc., what can be expected here? And I think for the Democratic Party, it is a great big deal, because as you know now, although it was 50-50 and they maintained the Senate.
It means that Manchin and Sinema can't string them up as much as they used to.
That's one part of it, yes, indeed. And also, too, they no longer have to share committee chairpersons in the various committees in Senate. Schumer has that all to himself.
Yeah.
And it prepares them for 2024, because then the Democrats will have significant disadvantages as more Democratic senators will be exposed to the election. So, you know, it's kind of a setting the stage for the next 2 years.
I hope you're hearing me.
Yes.
My view is the Democratic Party has to look very carefully, because it is clear that the radical left element, as much as you and I may sympathize with its objectives, have little resonance in the American electorate. And some of the stuff I hear on MSNBC, for example, yes, it can titivate my socialistic heart, but at the same time, it cannot attract the American people in sufficient numbers to be sure that you do not get the far right prevailing in 2024 and thereafter.
And I think that's why the ascendancy of the new minority speaker is so critical there, because he has the ability to bring those folks within to line, because he has demonstrated that over the past 4 years working within the Democratic
Jeffrey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of expectation there. It's a factor, but at the end of the day, people realize that it's in order to govern, you must win. so if you're going to be doing things that will not seek to get you to win, then you won't be in the governing situation. So it's going to be very interesting next 2 years.
I think so, you know.
I mean, there's a point I want to make, because if you look at, as a political science student and looking around the world, money play a major part in the politics going forward. Mobilization, but the philosophy has changed so broad. There's so many on the ground. Which way is right, which way is left? Some of yours can work in mine, some of mine can work in you. The farthest right have some good points, and the farthest left have some good points. And they cannot put it that you have the opposing forces as the politics generally is.
No, but you sound like Trump after the
good on both sides. Good on both sides.
No. Good on both sides.
No.
There's no good side of racism. There's no good side of classism.
Right. I don't feel. I feel I have to correct myself.
Yeah, you should. But you should.
No, but I was looking further than America, Ronnie.
Yes.
I'm looking across the world.
And you're helpful.
Right? And I am concerned, as I said this morning, if you go down into Brazil, if you go down into Israel, if you go up into some part of America, if you go, even some part of the Caribbean, wherever we go, you go into Britain, you see what's going on in Britain. There is literally war in the philosophies.
Well, we saw what happened in Germany.
We haven't come up yet. That they're going to say, let's all focus on this or focus on that.
Well, I'm looking towards a new iteration of political ideology and practice, which embraces the notion of the common good, rather than the hyper-individualism or the narrow business ethic or business.
We have that anywhere, or is something you're hoping for?
No, I think there are many countries, certainly the Scandinavian countries, that have that ethic, that background, far more than we do. If you look
for example, Canada?
Canada to some extent, at least.
Well, and then if you listen to the Canadian...
Listen to me. At least they have a health system. They invest in a health system which does not leave people sitting in chairs in the hospital lobby for 2-3 days when they're very sick and dying. At least they have a system where there's an intense training in simple things like manners, deportment, don't thief toilet paper or soap dispenser. Can you imagine the Minister of Health of the country in the 60th year of independence having to regret that every time you put one toilet seat down and dig it out? What the hell is that, man?
There is something that you should also worry about.
If you want a state of emergency about that, tell me about that one.
No, but if you have a politics where one side is blaming the other side for toilet paper not being in a place where people put it on TV.
Don't take the bait.
That type of politics you have to get rid of.
Well,
but that's not even politics.
But then
that's not even politics.
No.
And it shouldn't be. The point is this: you go into a place and there's no toilet paper. There's no toilet paper. Who's responsible? End of story. Let's get it going.
But you pay money every week, time, and you can't stop paying because...
But you put it in, Erwin.
Yeah.
You put in the toilet paper and you don't have somebody watching it, like I had to do when I was Minister of Local Government. When I established the toilets down in Kingston, I put a lady there with a chair, and you pay her to go in, and she watch you go in and come back out, and that was her job. But that was because all we had there was scandal bag toilets previously. We've gone way above that now.
Well, yes, but you know, we really have to elevate ourselves. When you see right now, what this place needs is a humane discipline. When you see what is going on the roads are in Clarke, yes? When I was a kid in undergraduate school, I used to drive sometimes for people, yes? And that was a cinch by comparison to what it is to drive in Kingston now, yes? And the template and of the taximan and the motorcycle that is bespeaking the kind of disorder in this country, which no state of emergency can cure.
And you know, as we speak, if you remember last week, we were on this whole subject of road fatalities and stuff. And as soon as we got off, we were to hear about that accident that took place in Oatree with a fireman, and I have to send condolences out to the fire department. Yeah. And when you see the video, and you know, I usually don't look at these things, but somehow, I'm sorry I looked at it. To see the man, would have left his home in the morning to go out and work on behalf of the community and be pinned.
Happened? The net effect of that is that Mackenzie blames the human rights activists for not condemning that. What foolish is it? Is that?
I have to say to
and he's a minister. Who has the authority to make sure that there's discipline on the roads. Although it may not be his portfolio, he can do it. When you have 1/3, even as much as 1/2 of the drivers on the road in Jamaica who can't drive,
read and write, and can't read and write.
Ronnie, I want to ask permission to get about 10 seconds.
Yeah. Sure, you have 20 seconds. Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm not going to catch until next week. You sent me a thing where this boy is flinging his stones in the school.
Yes, sir.
And I went over this one, the teacher tried to stop him.
Yeah. She tried to stop him?
Yeah.
See that?
When he was going into the school with his stone, she stood before him.
I'm thinking it behind her.
But let me ask you, What are we going to do with that generation?
What I want to know is what has happened since then, because I understand there's a bickering between people in the school. The minister said so. Yes, you can't have disunion in a school that permeates into the indiscipline of the students. Secondly, you had a father, I'm told, I'm quoting Michael Abrams in the Gleaner now, a father who is blaming the mother for the child's indiscipline. When father is as big as mother in any family, you know.
Could I say something to you quickly?
Well,
I want to go back to my days of Teacher Williams.
Yes, sir.
Why is it, when I was there, the principal of the school or the headmaster, if something goes wrong among all the classes, those teachers would go to the headmaster with the child? The headmaster was such a role model in the school.
Of course.
It doesn't seem as if that headmaster, and remember, it's just pure men that time. Yes. And I say women, but you have some women better than the men.
Of course.
Well, but something is not right
so we have
in
to
the
put
administration
it right
there.
Yes.
That children can fling stone past a teacher and the headmaster is not around.
Gentlemen, well, listen, flinging stone.
Listen, we have a beautiful country. We have plenty of things that are wonderful, as well as many things that are challenging. Give thanks for the connection that we have every Wednesday with Irish Jam, and we greet you and thank you for this one.
You see why I can't do it, don't run it to it, Erwin?
I know.
When I get bad,
yes. Sing a prayer. If you have a prayer for
He just hold on to his collar and said to me, listen to the words of wisdom.
All right, and it's the words of wisdom we end on today. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
All the best.
Enjoy your weekend.
Sure.
And thanks.
It's the end of the Bridge Connect.
Thanks to LaFane, thanks to Peter John, thanks to all of them for making today's program possible. And to you, Chief Charles, see you next Wednesday. Life spare, God willing.